What is up, gang? It's your boy West. Bad news, my webcam actually broke on me today, but the show must still go on, so I'm gonna let you guys see the Rev rework. New abilities. Hopefully he's gonna be a crazy legend. Y'all let me know what you think in the comments. Please subscribe, like. I'm gonna get a new webcam tomorrow. Let's go.
Hey guys, for the first time ever, Respawn is completely reworking a character. This new Revenant looks insane.
Hi, I'm Evan Fennell. I'm a game designer on Apex, working on the new Revenant rework. Revenant is a whole new kit. For Revenant's passive, we're calling it Assassin's Instinct. We wanted to kind of keep the faster crouch speed and the wall climb from before, as it's kind of an iconic part of his old kit. So his wall climb has been improved to give him more horizontal movement. He's also able to see nearby enemies that are low on health, and if Revenant gets them low himself, he'll mark that enemy's position for his team, which then he can use his brand new tactical Shadow Pounce for. Shadow Pounce allows him to unleash a powerful leap forward that lets him close the gap between him and his prey. He can use it to reach height on a wall to quickly transition into the improved wall climbing, or to simply reposition for a better angle, and you can hold the tactical to charge it to leap even farther. Revenant's new ultimate is called Forged Shadows, which creates a shroud of shadows around him that protects him from direct incoming damage, which includes things like melee, bullets, and explosives, but not radius or AoE effects like the ring, fire, or caustic gas. The shroud increases Revenant's upper body hitbox, making him an easier target to hit when he's barreling down on you, but if you break his shadows, they will start to slowly recharge over time, and damaging Revenant while they are recharging will briefly pause the regen. Revenant is vulnerable when his shields are down, taking normal shield and health damage, but if he manages to secure a knock, it will bring back his shadows immediately and extend the duration of his ultimate up to a max of his starting time. Knocks while in your ultimate will also reset your tactical charge, allowing you to keep up the fight even if the enemy tries to escape. I think he has some potential to be a pretty strong entry fragger because he has a lot of fast movement, he has this added protection. His passive gives a lot of important information to his team. There's definitely, I think, a potential of him appearing a lot more in ALGS and in competitive matches. But yeah, I think in public matches, he's definitely going to be a lot more fun to play and just really lean into and survive in some of those more aggressive play patterns. So he's going to be a blast, I think, in both, but we'll see how his pick rate goes in ALGS. His shadows only surround him, but it can be used in some pretty creative ways to kind of help protect your team. Like if you're reviving, it kind of is like giving you extra protection while you're getting your teammates up. His character hitbox is remaining the same, but the ultimate kind of creates a circle around him that increases his upper body hitbox. We do have some dials and knobs ready to kind of tune him back if we find he's over indexing in live, but I think he's going to be sitting pretty well in the upcoming season. We really want players to kind of get a sense of his new power and playstyle coming into the season, so we're keeping him pretty hot. Specifically, we didn't want to make it a wall hack. We wanted the highlight to help you narrow in on who the weak opponents are, but still have to give chase to them. So you only get the slight wall hack marker that shows up when Revenant himself gets the enemy low, but that only lasts for a couple seconds and then goes away. So it's still a way to just kind of follow up on that initial damage. So.
I see. And does his teammates see that they're highlighted as well? Like, let's say you said if Revenant were to do the damage and get him low, it marks them. But let's say his teammates were to get them low, and then he has that natural like highlight. Does his teammates see that slight highlight as well, or no?
No, only Revenant sees the highlight that outlines around the enemy. His allies, if they get them low, don't see anything. It's only when Revenant gets the enemy low that he kind of pings out to everybody where their last known position was, so that they can kind of come assist in finishing off the team.
Okay. Were there any other, I guess, like extra buffs that you were thinking about giving to his passive? I know that like obviously having a little outline around somebody is like a really big indicator and can help like people like when they're fighting and having more confidence, because they just like visually can see that someone is like 40 HP. Were you ever thinking about, giving them like a buff where maybe he reloads faster, or he gets something, maybe if he knocks that guy who is being scanned, his ability might come back? Was that ever in the thought?
We did have a few different prototypes that kind of like played with different ideas around the low health knock and rewarding you on that. But we decided to more keep the passive something that was like a call to action that then was answered by his other abilities in the kit. So answered by his tactical, so that he has to follow up and chase them down, or by his ultimate and just giving him that extra power. And it kind of plays into his passive anyways when you're in your ultimate, because you can see who's low and then use that information to be able to get your tactical back on your ultimate. So we wanted the passive to be purely a target focusing and health awareness mechanic to know what prey around you is kind of low and who should be your main focus, to be able to use your other abilities effectively.
I see. Okay. So you talked about his crouch speed and his climbing speed being a little bit different. What exactly was changed about those two?
So his crouch speed is the same as it was previously, and his wall climb is mostly the same vertically, but he has a lot more movement now horizontally. So he's able to move left and right more effectively, and when he falls onto a wall or grabs onto a wall, he doesn't slide down it nearly as much. He grabs on pretty sticky and then is able to climb up from there. So he's just a lot better at wall climbing
I
overall.
see. Okay, cool. Is Revenant now able to wall hop? Because I know how like he was the only legend where if you would just slide jump and then go into a wall and you wall hop, his wall hop would be very, he wouldn't get any height, he wouldn't get anywhere, to be honest. But I know how like there are certain like content creators who actually used his wall hop to like wall hop like multiple times in like a corridor or like around a corner. So does he still have that mechanic on him, or has it been changed?
His wall climbing is a lot stickier than it used to be. So it's not it doesn't really like lean itself into the wall bouncing as much. But he's still able to kind of do the same mechanics that he was before. And you can still use your tactical in that way to kind of throw yourself at a wall and then be able to wall bounce off of it. So I think there's a lot of still like movement potential here with him.
I see. Okay. I know this is more for like the movement tech people, but what made you want to change Revenant into more of a movement character, coming from like obviously he has a silence and ultimate where you have like a second life? Like what made you be like, okay, well, we want to make it a leap for his tactical and then have his ult be kind of like Bloodhound where it resets it?
Yeah, so previously Revenant's core pattern was very zone control and poke oriented, which didn't totally fit into his kind of fantasy of his like assassin-y robot. So with the new direction, we really wanted to push Revenant to be more in your face, more persistent, and just like really scary. Which we felt was much more in line with like who Revenant is. So his abilities now kind of have pushed him to be, it wasn't that we set out to make him a movement character, but we wanted him to be somebody that was that kind of scary assassin who's always coming after you, and you feel like he's always somewhere around you. So that was what kind of leaned into his abilities to jump around, climb walls more effectively, all of that. Just be like that scary monster that's constantly lurking around you.
I see. How long would you say that it takes for the ultimate to regen itself? Like if someone to break it, I know it has 75 HP. So let's say if they weren't to take any other damage from another player, how long would it take for it to regen back to the full 75?
So when the shield breaks, it'll start to regen slowly, and that currently sits around like it sits around like 9 or 10 seconds. So it's a fairly long, slow recharge rate. But it doesn't actually reappear until it's fully recharged. So he is fully vulnerable while he's in a broken state. And it will start to recharge slowly. And if he takes any damage while it's regenerating, it'll pause briefly before starting to regen again from that point. So he is kind of weakened when he has his shield down. But if he gets a knock, then while he's in that while his shadows are down, then he's able to like regenerate it instantly. So
Sounds good. I see that there is some potential for sure. Like having an extra 75 HP is huge. You know, like that is just like a straight up an extra blue armor on top of, let's say you had a red armor. Having your entry fragger on that could be just crazy. So I see a lot of like potential in his kit, and I'm excited to see him in action.
This rework is sick. Revenant will be free for all of you guys to try out this season.